Hello, good evening. Welcome to the Trails Radio Show. Thank you for joining us today. Today, my special guest is actor Mr. Bernie Kopell. Thank you, and join us in a minute.
Pretty good. So, go ahead, shoot.
Okay, my first question to you is, how did you become an actor? How did your career begin?
Well, it started back in high school. By the way, my age now is, I'm 88, on my way to being 89. In June 21st, I'll be 89 years old. I was in high school in Brooklyn, and things had not been going very well for me. I had a very difficult father, and growing up was difficult, just very difficult. He was just a little too rough on me. Anyway, in high school, Erasmus Hall High School, a very sweet lady teacher said, "Mr. Kopell, are you chewing gum in class?" And then she said, "May we borrow your voice for verse choir?" Verse choir was an extracurricular activity, and I did it, and it was fun. It was really fun. That's my dog. My dog is barking.
Okay.
Anyway,
okay.
I really enjoyed doing that. I was reading articles or reading poetry, and it was fun, and I enjoyed it. And I didn't enjoy growing up too much because my father was really a little too rough on me, too abusive. And then I said, "Boy, this is really fun." And then I said, maybe I can audition for the radio workshop in Boys High. And I did, and I got in. And then maybe I can audition for the all-city radio workshop, and I did that, and that was fun too. And then I heard great things about New York University, the drama department, and I was admitted to that on a probationary basis, and I discovered that I'm pretty good at this stuff. And so I went there, and I had a very good foundation in drama. And then I James Drury. Did you ever see The Virginian?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Anyway, James Drury and James Drury was a Virginian. We were classmates at NYU.
Wow.
So I was drafted into the Navy. Wow. And then I got out of the Navy after 2 years, an honorary discharge. And Jim did not serve in the service, but he was this very, very handsome guy, very suitable for westerns. So I come out of the Navy, and I was in New York for about 6 months, and nothing was going on. Nothing. I didn't know what my saleability was. Anyway, Jim, as soon as he went out to California, he started working in westerns, one after another. So after a while, he called and said, "Bern." I said, "Yeah, hey, Jim." He said, "Come out to California. I've got an agent for you." And that's like a magic word. Got an agent. Oh, boy, this could be terrific. Anyway, I go out to California, and I have my little resume and 8x10 picture. And I go to see his agent. And his agent looks at the 8x10 picture, and he looks at my resume from school. And he said, "Did Jim tell you I'd be your agent?" It gives me a very, very hard look.
Mm-hmm.
Looks at the picture, looks at the resume, and he said, "Did Jim tell you I'd be your agent?" "How can I be your agent?" And this is exactly what he said. "You're not handsome enough to be a leading man. You're not ugly enough to be a heavy," meaning a bad guy. And I was dismissed. And that was my beginning of coming out to California. And eventually I made this amazing discovery that I could do accents. I could do accents. And the way that happened was that I had this agent who was very, very slow. He would send me up for parts that had already been cast with other people. But so I was in my way to see this casting director at CBS Television City. And on my way in, I see 5 guys who were sitting there who could have been Juan or Jesus or Pablo or Pancho. And the casting lady is very sweet. She says, I was on my way out. And she says, I'm so sorry, but the part that you're up for has already been cast. And now I was getting really annoyed with this whole process of an agent who would send me up for parts that had already been cast. It was really not good. So she said, and I don't know why she said it, she said, well, as long as you're here, would you like to read for the part of Pablo? And I'm saying to myself, this is so stupid, this is so dopey. How can I read for Pablo when there are 5 guys who could have been any of these Latino guys? Anyway, I was just annoyed enough to say, okay, I will take up the valuable time of this producer, which I did, and I remember that at the time, this was 1961, Jack Parr, who was a host of a talk show, he had this piano player whose name was Jose Melis. That was the piano player. And then Jose Menace was going on, the Bill Dana character. And I said, okay, I'll do them. I had never done this before. So I read the part, and I got the part. And I said, this is a miracle. How the heck did this happen? I got that. So I played that part for 3 months of my life, and I was working. So this was a fabulous thing. And it gave me the understanding and the confidence that I could really do this and make a living at doing this. And subsequently, I did the Favorite Martian, The Flying Nun, the Danny Kaye Show, all of these historic shows that you're way too young to have any idea when they were. So that was, and the Jack Benny Show, and I was on my way. So that was how I began getting work in television. Okay, you have any more questions?
That's amazing. That's wonderful. And I must say, I'm a fan of your role from The Love Boat. You know, I remember that show for reruns, you know. That's how I mainly know you, The Love Boat. And you mentioned Favorite Martian and The Flying Nun and all that. My next question is... what is the most difficult part or the most challenging part about being an actor?
Well, the first thing is getting up enough courage to attempt to get roles. Because I remember one time when I was trying to sell Kirby vacuum cleaners, that you may have heard of Kirby vacuum cleaners or not. Mm-hmm. There was a guy who was, he kept saying, oh, I want to be an actor. I want to be an actor. He kept saying that. But first, my ears are a little too big. I have to get my ears flattened out against my head, and I'm too short, so I have to get elevator shoes. And my nose is a little too long, so I have to get that fixed. He never went out on any auditions. So it takes a certain amount of courage or guts or whatever word you want to use. I had that courage because I didn't care. I wanted to work, and I got a number of rejections, but I said, that's okay. I'll just keep coming at them. I'll just keep trying. So that is something that really works in anybody's life with any kind of ambition. to keep trying, keep trying, keep trying. And eventually, it worked out for me, and as you may have seen from my my record, excuse me, I've been working pretty steadily since the late '50s, with all of these different shows. Dick Van Dyke.
Mm-hmm.
I played a Mexican divorce lawyer when Rob and his wife were having some marital problems, and they went to this divorce lawyer, and I convinced them it'd be so much trouble to get a divorce, but they better stay married and work it out. Anyway, so I just began to work, and I found out through my attempts, and some of them were unsuccessful attempts, I found out that I could do this work and learn the lines. Because at first I thought, hey, this is going to be difficult to learn these lines. Anyway, through repetition, it worked out that I could fairly easily learn these lines. And then I got to play Siegfried on Get Smart. I don't know if you ever saw that.
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever see Get Smart?
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, that was a miraculous gift to me. This producer came to see me in a play where I was playing a Russian peddler in freezing Buffalo, trying to sell a misnamed kitchen utensil called a fruit flute. You screw it into a potato. And I was going to door in this play. And this producer came to see it. It ran for about 11 months, which was phenomenal. And this producer, the name of Leonard Stern, came to see it toward the end of its run. And he comes backstage, and he shakes my hand, and he said, "We're going to work together." And I'm saying to myself, is this just Hollywood baloney or whatever it is? And within a few years, he just handed me the role of Siegfried, which was a monumental success for me. And I said, wow, this is really great. And that was an outstanding thing, very encouraging. And I loved the role, playing the mean German guy with Don Adams. So it was just the idea of pursuing your goals. And as I mentioned, this works in any kind of profession or any kind of goal that you or me or anybody else has in life. Pursue your goal. So I've made a career out of pursuing my goal, and once I had myself fairly established, I just kept on going that way, and I'm still working at this advanced age, and I'm very grateful. I'm very grateful. And there you go.
Absolutely.
It's still happening.
Absolutely. It's a wonderful business to be in. I'm an actor myself. I started in this industry when I was about 13 years old in theater, and then I moved to radio and voiceovers, and I'm 21 now. I'll be 22 in August, and I love it. I've been in this industry for about 8 or 9 years now, and I can't picture myself being in another job. I love it.
Well, good for you. And you have pursued. This is the lesson I was trying to get across, and I think I did. And I think you knew that before I even brought it up. Pursuing your goals, and not stopping yourself any place and saying, "I'm just going to keep trying to do this." Because in the beginning, it seems like this is impossible. You've got to be this and that. You got to be that and those and this and that. But just to keep on going to do, to follow your dream. Follow your dream, which I think you're doing. And that's the great benefit, is not to be stopped by anything.
Yeah, let no one try to talk you out of it. If you have the craft and passion to be an actor or be in the entertainment industry, do it, but know what you're getting into, don't go in it blind, and there's always room to learn. You never stop learning.
Exactly, and that is, sometimes I talk to kids in acting classes, and I get that message across. Because in the beginning, it seems like people would say to themselves, God, this is so difficult, I don't think I could ever dare to attempt to be in this because of this reason and that reason and some other reasons. But it takes that amount of courage. The word courage means kur is heart. It takes that certain amount of heart to pursue these goals, and evidently you're doing that, and that's great.
Well, thank you.
That's the way to do it. Keep coming at them.
Absolutely. Do you have any upcoming projects, or you have any upcoming television or film roles coming up you can talk about?
Well, I had a year on Be Positive. Mm-hmm. And then the last thing I did on television was on Grey's Anatomy, where I played an Irish priest, which is very unusual because I'm not Irish, I'm Jewish. Mm-hmm. And right now I'm involved in something called, it starts back in biblical times when, the Jews were slaves in Egypt for 400 years. And that's true. And it's called Two Jews Talking. When we had just been released from bondage in where the hell were we? In Egypt. We had just been released, and we have a lot of complaints. Like Moses released us, but here we are wandering in the desert. On our way to the promised land, and then we complain about God. God is not helping us very much because we're starving. We're having a very difficult time getting to the promised land. But there's humor to it, and we did it in North Carolina, and people liked it. People liked it very much. And the guy I'm doing it with is Hal Linden, who played Barney Miller. Mm-hmm. And it was great fun to do, and it was very odd to be doing it in North Carolina because I don't know how many Jews are here. I don't know if anybody would really know what the hell we're talking about. But it worked out very nicely. And hopefully we can do that in various parts of the country. I don't know where, but that's what we're attempting to do at this point. But that's as far as I've gotten so far. Mm-hmm. But to think that I have been working successfully since the late 50s, which is a miracle. I worked with Jack Benny. Mm-hmm. Who was one of my great idols, and he was just a prince of a man. So anyway, that brings me up to date. Trey, just keep coming at him. Is all I can recommend.
Absolutely. Well, Mr. Kopell, thank you very much for letting me talk to you. It's been an honor for me because I'm a fan of your work, and you're one of my acting idols. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me, and I wish you continued success with your career, sir. So thank you.
Well, the same right back to you, young man. Just keep coming at him, okay?
Thank you. You have a wonderful day.
You too. Adios.
Bye-bye. And that was actor Mr. Bernie Kopell. Thank you very much for listening, and as always, God bless.